Hello and welcome, beloved Juicy Life leaders from around the world. Here we are for the newest version of the Community Empowerment Training on Tuesday, April 20th, in the year 2021. Today is a very exciting training for me because I'm not only will train you today in the two magic words you can use to uplift yourself and as leaders uplifting your communities. It's also the day where when we end, I will spend a few minutes to open officially the doors to the Juicy Life Leader Academy. So, and I will in that opening share as a mini training in itself, how I had to literally shake off 3 what I call patriarchal shackles in the last weeks to be able to open today the doors of my Juicy Life Leader Academy. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Sylvia Becker-Hill, originally from Germany, now living in California, married to a wonderful man from New Zealand, 2 teenage boys, and I'm an executive coach for over 20 years. And what's the right word? A learning nerd. I love learning. I love growing. I completely believe in the human potential. And I also stand firmly in my conviction that you matter. And one of the key beliefs in my community is happy leaders are better leaders. Sounds so simple, and yet for me it has political and historical implications because I'm also a warrioress in the regards that I focus on dismantling the patriarchy, and I start with doing that first in our minds and hearts so that when we consciously evolve, can be future fit leaders and change and transform the world. And knowing a few of you here and what you're doing in your personal professions as leaders, I'm truly honored to serve you here today in how to uplift yourself and others. If you have not yet gotten it, no worries, no stress, but in general, in all my invitations, there is a link to a handout you could, if you wanted to, download and print. It's the same for every week. It's just a structure and helps you to capture your insights and literally build a little library, like a handbook of the community empowerment trainings. And it has all these boxes and frames, not to box your mind in, yet to empower your memory system. Again, a lot of what I do is coming from the inspiration from neuroscience, and just know, even if I sometimes come across as beautifully bubbly and sometimes even people tell me innocent like a child, everything I do is highly intentional and super engineered. I'm like the BMW under coaches. Nothing I'm doing with you is accidental, even though a lot of it is intuitive in the moment, but it's also highly intentional because this is who I am and how I approach our trainings here. So first step always is, because my promise is to help you see the water we as fish swim in. What is the patriarchy telling us about when we are stuck or when we want to get unstuck? So there is a so-called paradigm, there's a build mindset, there's a mental model inside the patriarchy which says, very simple, change is hard. Who of you, honestly, has heard that multiple times in your life or strongly believes that change is hard? Show your hands, or you can also use the emoticons on the bottom of your screen. There's a button reactions, and you can always show thumbs up or thumbs down if your video is closed off. So inside our society, there is the belief, the paradigm, the thinking box, change is hard. So in my eyes, that's a problem, because what we believe and project into our lives and our leadership, into our daily work, like a self-fulfilling prophecy, our brain makes sure that our experiences match our own projections. So when we believe change is hard, what do we experience? Change is really, really hard. So today I invite you to allow yourself just to distinguish that maybe it's not that the change is hard. I truly believe the resistance against the change makes it hard. And that's a fine but colossal distinction. Because when I let go my resistance, which sometimes just needs one deep breath, it can be surprisingly easy and fast and painless and smooth. All the things the patriarchy doesn't want you to know and experience, because the patriarchy benefits more from you being stuck in the box of change is hard. So that the training today becomes really practical for you, I need you to connect with 2-3 real issues, topics, problems in your life. And you can chat here in the chat box. The chat box will not be publicized, it stays private. But for me, and I will not read your names, but I will just read out loud a few examples. First, let's look, because today I'm distinguishing how to train you to uplift yourself, and then how to train you what to do, how to uplift others. Please give me minimum 1 or 2 or 3 examples from you personally. Where do you feel stuck? And type it 1 or 2 keywords into the chat box. For example, maybe you lead a department where you are having the goal to reduce the cost and you're stuck. You can't get the cost down. Cost reduction would be a keyword. Or privately, because of the pandemic, lockdown lifestyle, Zoom calls all day long, you sense you are not moving enough. You feel stuck. There's no time for sports, or all gyms are closed, or so you feel stuck regarding fitness. Or you dream for years now to balance your life more by following an old dream or an old hobby, and you just have no idea how to do that as a busy leader. So you're stuck in your dream of, I don't know, becoming a photographer or whatever it is. So please share in your chat box, where do you feel stuck? So here, this is a good one. I feel guilty when I take time for myself. Ooh, that's a very, very collective thread. Yeah, advocacy, yes or no? What's the consequence of advocacy? What will others think? Shall I do it or not? Overwhelmed with opportunities. Ooh, yeah, that's a good one. I know very well. Changing careers at 40. Yes, and you can put here any number, 30, 40, 50, 60. We have all these stories why change is hard at a specific number you put in. It's amazing. Return to work in office versus working from home. With the pandemic, so much is in the air. Oh my gosh, I shared it in my newsletter yesterday that over the weekend, I had nearly an out-of-body, weird, strange experience over the weekend, sensing into the world we live in right now and what's happening. And it felt so surreal, so different. I'm 54 and I felt, wow, I never felt that the world feels this way, the way it does right now in 54 years. And so I had this sense of, wow, like everything is thrown into the air for us to reevaluate and to discern and to judge and to make decisions, especially here as Juicy Life leaders who are committed to be future fit, to lead into a sustainable, partnership-based, soul-inspired, heart-rooted future. We need to make decisions in a world where there are, right now, it feels for me, more unknowns than knowns. Probably there always were, but they were not so right in our face, right? Like Socrates said, as more I know, I don't know. And yet right now, the amount of unknowns and uncertainty is really, really, I believe, scary. And it's a big question I ask in my email newsletter. How do we react to that? How do we manage us with that? So to read here a few of the last comments, stuck between being a good mother and a complete individual. Ooh, this is worth its own training. I remember when I became a mother, I was struggling with exactly the same question, the same thing. Feel stuck with some technology which stops me from the flow of my creativity. Oh, Wanda, high five. You should have seen me yesterday. I was nearly crying here at my desk about my new PC, which is noisy. I don't know if you are sensitive to that, but I'm sensitive to noisy machines, and I'm shooting a lot of videos, and I have now spent money, and I had it packed away too long, and now I have a noisy PC I hate, which is really horrible. Oh God, yeah. Stuck that I could not follow my passion of singing. Oh, Shuya. Ooh, that's a dangerous comment. I might invite you to sing one day for us. No worries, not today at your first time here, but that's a beautiful information about you. I love knowing that about you.
And that has happened ever since I've become a father, So I keep listening to the sing songs from my kids, but couldn't get time, to sing myself, actually.
You say something very wise here right now for all of us as inspiration. Children are not yet overly patriarchalized and conditioned and boxed in. They still follow their heart, they sing. So I cross my fingers, press my thumbs, whatever. And what do you say in Pakistan? Do you cross fingers or press thumbs when you wish luck? It's such
This is fine.
You cross your fingers, okay.
Yeah.
I remember in Germany, we press our thumbs, and when I came to live in the United States in Michigan, people looked at me as if I was, weird or strange or out of my mind, because in the first months when I wanted to be kind and nice to others, I told them, oh, I press my thumbs for you. They were looking, what is she talking about? In Michigan, they cross their fingers. And Steve here, oops, now I said it, overwhelmed by the news and often feeling unable to do enough. Yes, 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 to make a difference. Oh, I hear you, I hear you. I share that. Oh my gosh, I share that. So these are things where we feel stuck. Just briefly add now a few things where you see the people you are leading, and leading could be in your corporation, your team, or if you're in politics. I know here's someone who is. So the people you're leading, or your family members. You are a leader also in your private life. What do you see are the people you are leading, or where you feel you have access to and you make a difference? Where are they stuck? What do you see right now? Let's see. So that you can choose a few topics, how to apply what I'm going to teach you in a few moments here. Please type into the chat box, what do you see the people you are leading, privately or professionally, where are they stuck? Where are they stuck? Too many projects, overwhelm right now is huge, and it's growing since a few years. It has also this is something which is the growing overwhelm of people has to do with technology and the growing complexity of technology and the growing speed. It's first, a lot of technology in the moment gets invented to supposedly make our life easier. And in some aspect it does, but in other ways it creates more overwhelm. Feeling as if they lost a year. Ooh, yes, there's a lot of grieving going on because of the pandemic. Grieving because of lives lost, grieving because of jobs lost, grieving because of livelihoods being lost, money lost, opportunities lost. We celebrated my younger son's birthday the weekend. It was just us, his brother, my husband, me, and him. And it was lovely. And yet it's different from being a normal teenager in a normal world, having, a party with his friends. So there's a lot of sense of loss, which is grieving. And in the patriarchal paradigm of professionalism, sadly, there is this big wall between the work life and the private life, and grief belongs inside the patriarchy into the private box. And we should be like, if we enter a building and we put our coat off and hang the coat on a hook, we should enter our work life and put our grief like a coat on a hook and lead without grief, which I think this whole split between professional persona and private persona creates a lot of issues for a lot of people. Unable to say no to requests for work, especially when up for promotion. Ooh, that's a good one. Yes. How do I say no without destroying my image or disappointing my boss, etc., etc.? Yes, yes. Too much to do and not enough time for what they want. Sometimes even a 15-minute stroll with friend or family. Yes, yes, yes. As here, Shuya, thank you for being so, am I allowed to share this here? Give me a thumbs up.
Please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a head of leadership development of a 70 years old organization that I recently joined. Status Quo Mindset is something where I see people who I'm trying to lead are stuck. Yes, the status quo. Oh my gosh. Back in Germany, for 4 or 5 years, I worked in post-merger integration in big processes, which ran for 1 or 2 years. And the sentence, and I'm trying to translate the German meme, was always something like, this is not how we are doing things here. And the way they said that, you know, it was this kind of, this is not how we do things here. And that was like sack for sanct. That was like holy, the way we did it here. This is holy, and you are not, you know. So it was like, okay, you pay me money to change the company, but now you tell me you. In Germany, we have the saying, "Wash me, but don't make me wet." Okay, so we have a ton of examples here. And obviously here in this live short call of around 45 minutes or so, I can't go into all the different applications. And a bit of a disclaimer, I love teaching super simple things because I know as more simple it is, as higher the chance you're using it. The problem with simple things, and this is a bit, again, patriarchal mindset, simple things are often discarded as not powerful. And there's this whole industry in academia making things more complex and necessary to give them the aura of importance. And also it's a bit of an elitism, because if it's very complex and difficult and has even its own terminology, then only the inner circle people will understand it. So I'm against all that, because I believe in democratization. I want that things are easy so that more people can use them. So I warn you, I will give you a method which is super simple, and I beg you not to underestimate its power. I'm using it. It works. So, not all my clients, not every client in coaching gets to learn the same thing, but a lot of my clients use it. It works like a charm because it's based in neuroscience. It's aligned with how your brain operates. This is most of the stuff nowadays I'm teaching. They always come from the question, how does the brain work? And how can you utilize the workings of your brain for your advantage and not your disadvantage? Because sadly, sometimes the brain, for those of you who were with me the last 2 or 3 weeks, little test here. How old is our brain model? Who remembers that? Linda, am I allowed to put you on the spot? You know it. So unmute yourself. How many years?
Very, 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 very old. I can't remember the exact number.
25,000 years. Our brain model is 25,000. You remember, Carol? Good. 25,000 years old. So, and obviously the world and circumstances were different 25,000 years old, 25,000 years ago. So our brain is brilliantly wired by evolution for our survival, but not for our happiness. This is an important distinction. You will, when you join me here multiple times, you will hear me repeating things, because this is what the brain needs to hardwire new neural circuits. And one of those memes I like to repeat is, your brain is wired for your survival, not for your happiness. Your happiness is your job, your responsibility. Your brain takes care of your survival. We worry so much about our survival, but literally the brain does it all for us. Our happiness is our job. So, drum rolls. We are getting into our simple yet powerful model, which is based in 2 words. So first of all, what are we doing? So we want to get something which we can use any time of the day in any kind of role, professional or private, whenever we feel that we are stuck or others are stuck. I will first teach you how to uplift yourself, and then I show you the application with others. So in our brain, the brain has certain design principles. One is to conserve or preserve energy, to use as little energy as possible. And for that, the brain is constructed to move things from our neocortex here behind our forehead always as quickly as possible into the subconscious mind through pattern creation, through habit creation. And that's a very important thing to understand, because when we understand those habits, we can utilize them. And in the patriarchal philosophy of the self-help movement of empowering people, there is sadly a notion, which I'm staking now today here, an opposite position, that doubt is not good. I had coaches who taught me, Sylvia, stop doubting yourself. Self-confidence is important. Doubt is not good. And when people come across to me with these very strong beliefs, it's a pattern in me or my archetype. I always ask myself, is that really true? Is doubt really the enemy? What if it's not? So what I discovered, and this is my personal research, it's not from any kind of book or school out there, I love to utilize the power of doubt to, when we are stuck, and I make now here a symbolic image. Let's say there's this famous American saying, you are stuck between a rock, and now I try to draw here like this. It's like our body, and we are like, oh, we are stuck between a rock and a hard stone. Does it make sense? Yeah, we are stuck between a rock and a hard stone, and we want to get out of being stuck. So if we had a physical tool, beside not getting crushed here between these two heavy rocks, we would use a drill. We would use a drill to drill cracks into these big rocks in order to break them apart into small rocks. With the brain, there's the same thing. The brain, when we have a situation, imagine my hands, I make it very simple. My hands symbolize different arms, so-called dendrites from different nerve cells in the brain. When they fire together, they wire together, they get hardwired, they create a connection. And that connection, there is a cell layer wrapped around to keep that connection stable, because the brain is malleable. The brain is constantly, the nerve cells are communicating here with each other, bristle, 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 then with others. But when we repeatedly do the same thing or worry about the same thing, we get hardwired through a layer called the myelin sheath. And that is a bit like the hard rock. If we are stuck in a problem, how can I reduce the cost in my department? How can I make more time, this 15 minutes walk with my friend or family member? We need to loosen the old, let's say, problem connection to open up literally to new possibilities, and to open up your brain to change, to open up your brain to find new solutions. We will use the power of doubt. So imagine you are stuck and your goal is you want to get to possibility to flexibility, to opportunity. This is where we leaders want to be. So there will be two processes. The first one is you start with where you stuck and you loosen the connection. And now come the two magic words. Are you ready? Can I see some excitement? Are you really ready? Raise your hands. Are you ready for the two magic words? They are so powerful. And I'm going to give them to you for free in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. What if? What if? What if I'm looking at my problem the wrong way? What if it feels horrible and difficult right now, but it isn't? What if instead of fighting the problem, I could step out of it and look at it from a different angle. What if I could stop resisting it? What if I could open up to change? What if the other department with which we had the conflict is not wrong? What if? So you use what if as a deliberate usage of doubt to weaken. Yeah, you use doubt to weaken the old hardwired connection. What if? And like every tool under the sun, as we sadly see here in the United States right now with the horrible gun shootings and mass killing and everything, a tool in the wrong hand with the wrong intention becomes super dangerous. So I don't say that doubt is always great. You can destroy people with doubt. You can, especially as leader, if you seed doubt in the minds of your team members, you can erode their confidence. You can destroy performance of people. I know marriages which fell apart because of a seed of doubt. And I make it up now here, classic scene, yeah. And I apologize because it's a bit a gender classic from the 50s, but it's just such a real story. Man comes home and has a blonde, long hair on the shoulder of his jacket. Wife takes a jacket, hangs it on the hook, sees the long blonde hair. She has dark hair. And suddenly the thought comes up, ooh, where is this long blonde hair coming from? Yeah, and when she hangs up the jacket, ooh, there's a parfum smell, which is not my husband's and not mine. Who is it? So I don't finish the story because you all know the story. It's conveyed in gazillion soap operas on TV. You can use doubt to erode something beautiful and precious which exists. Like every tool, you can use it for something evil, not something negative, or you can use it when you are a leader who becomes aware that you are stuck and you erode through the words, what if? First, the stuckness, the habitual worrying and the habitual thoughts, the habitual resistance about your own problem. Remember at the start today, I told you, it's not true that change is hard. The resistance against the change makes it hard. And what if you could let go of the resistance by using what if? What if just thinking for a few moments about your stuckness in new creative ways makes it already feel different? What if thinking just enough what ifs that which felt like a heavy, unsurmountable burden suddenly feels like a little pea or a little dust kernel you can snip off your shoulder? What if change is easy? What if we, you together, we can change the world? What if the future is brighter than we can see it right now? What if this horrendous pandemic, which we all hate, is one of the biggest gifts the universe has ever given us? What if this is the opportunity of a lifetime to reinvent ourselves? What if? So what I'm doing now already, did you feel it? I need some reaction. Could you feel how I was eroding the heaviness, the big rock, eroded it till suddenly possibility, opportunity showed up. And then this is the second step. So this is the first process, the eroding downward spiral, eroding the big rock. And then this is number 2. Then I use it to create a new wonderful vision. So your vision, your goals, your aspirations as a leader, when you disconnected the stuckness, then you can connect your neural cells in your brain to something new. So from the pandemic is the worst thing ever happened in the history of humans. What if this is not true? What if it's blah, 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 to what if this is a gift? What if we have a historic opportunity to stop repeating our old mistakes? What if evolution is speeding up now? What if evolution gives us here the opportunity and the moment in time where we can make history together? What if finally things like sexism, racism, and all these horrible isms which keep us apart are on the verge of dying out because they got so exposed? What if this is our time? What if? Any questions, comments? I need two, three voices. I need to know if that makes sense. If you get it, why I believe what if are such magical words. One or two voices. Steve, you look like getting ready to say something.
Well, I love it, Sylvia. I love the imagery of being stuck between a rock and a hard place and using doubt as a drill to break apart that rock. I wrote in there, it's not the benefit of the doubt, but it is simply the benefit of doubt. And yeah, can you hear me? Am I breaking up? You're breaking up.
Yeah, the benefit of the doubt. I want to add the ing, doubting. It's the benefit,
or,
not the benefit of the doubt.
It's not. It's removing the word the. It's removing the and it's just the benefit of doubt, right? Benefit of doubting. It also really makes me think of the book, A More Beautiful Question. Right? He starts with why, like, why is this so? Why is change hard? And then he uses the question, this tool, the drill. What if? What if it were easy? And then the third question is, how might we?
Beautiful.
In order to open those possibilities. So I love it.
Awesome. And here I see here in the chat box, yes, I see and feel it, the benefit. Yes, awesome, wonderful. Because I'm convinced now, and this is for me a bit embarrassing, sadly a bit late in my life and career, my critic says. I grew up believing that mind over matters. It's all about the mind, and that the mind is a key driver of change. And I just discovered until recently, last 5 years, it's the body. The mind might be the obvious, for us, most easiest accessible conscious piece of the change. But if the change is not embodied, if the body hasn't integrated and changed it, it's just in the mind a cloud on the sky passing by. So real change, real lasting change, which I define then or call transformation, happens in the body. Knowledge happens in the body. So when someone says here, like in the chat box, I see and feel it, that is the feedback I need to hear from you. Because if you tell me, yes, Sylvia, that makes sense, I understand, I'm happy. That's the first layer. I'm glad you can understand me, because that's one of my childhood wounds and old stories I had to work through. No one understands me and I'm so lonely. It was horrible. Most of my life I had that story. So I love when you understand me, because then I feel more safe. And yet as leaders, I need you to go beyond understanding. And that's all what my academy is about, because as much as I love my Tuesday calls here with you, I know that they are just one drop in a thick rock. We need the embodiment. And for the embodiment, we need repetition. And we need conceptual, non-linear, meandering learning. And we need the community. There are a lot of different things needed, till our body embodies new ideas. So I'm so happy that some of you here seem to get it on a visceral, on a physical level. So let's switch now from uplifting yourself. This is now an exercise. I just tell you, you have the words, what if? When you feel stuck, you start with, and that's key. This is something I learned 25 years ago or so through neurolinguistic programming. There is a beautiful principle which all leaders need to know, and I give it to you here. It's called pacing and leading. Pacing means you are connecting where people are, or yourself. You connect with where people are, and you, in my words, you honor that. You give it space. So if, for example, today on Facebook, a friend of mine, can't be here live today because she's supporting a friend who suddenly lost his or her father. And she asked me a bit, Sylvia, how do I support a friend around grief? And I said, just witness, just be, just give space. Yeah, and because a lot of times people think, oh, I need to soothe, I need to say something, I need to cheer the other person on. And this is horrible. When someone is in grief, please never do that, because it's nearly a disrespectful insult. If someone is in grief and you tell them, oh, your husband or your wife left you, no worries, you're young enough, you will find someone else. The world is full of men and women. Why do you know? So don't do that. Pacing means you be with the other person without the projection of changing it. Because remember, change itself is not hard. Resistance makes it hard. Can you still hear me? Sometimes my internet seems to flicker a bit. Was it audible what I just said? Yeah, okay, I repeat it.
If
okay.
you could, repeat it. You said pacing, and then we lost a bit of that.
Yeah. So pacing is where you meet people where they are, which means in a non-resisting, non-judgmental way. You are not projecting, for example, your team members. Let's say there's an initiative you want to roll out and people are scared. You can sense it, they are scared. So in the patriarchal old school leadership paradigm of the tough manager, the warrior, you would maybe give them a kind of Navy SEAL speech. Come on, guys, victory, let's align. And then you wave the flag of your company, or you have the vision. And here are our 3 top values, and we can do it. I know you're scared, but let's forget the fear. So you don't honor, you don't meet them where they are. You resist where they are. And what you resist persists. People hate that. When they are scared, they don't want to hear from you that their fear is stupid and they can just drop it. And so pacing and leading, most people focus immediately on the leading, but the challenge for most people is the pacing. Pacing means from an image or metaphor perspective, someone is walking on a footpath, and you just start walking with them, and you start breathing with them in the same rhythm. You adjust, you pace them. This is where the words comes from. You're pacing their rhythm, and you don't project onto them that you need them to change, and that what they are doing is not good. So you walk with them, you connect, you are with them. And when you do that well, this is the magic of pacing and leading, then you can lead them. Then when you pace them well, which means people relax and feel safe with you. This is a kicker here. Make people safe with you. And the old patriarchal leadership paradigm, that was leading by fear. If you don't do this fast enough, we will lose our client. If you hear the thing with the promotion, if you say no to my request, you will not get the promotion because I have 10 others waiting in line, willing to do it immediately. Leading by fear is old school, outdated, not under my watch. Leading from love, leading from soul is pacing where the other person is, which makes them relax and feel safe, and then you can lead them. So uplifting others with what if works the same way like we did it for ourselves, but you have to have the pacing step first. So you can't go into a group of people who are change averse and don't want to do it. And somehow my mind goes right now, United States and the whole weapon industry and the NRA, but come on, Sylvia, breathe out. I'm not going into politics right now. But my brain wants to go there. No, we are not going there. So in order to uplift others, we need, and that is a tricky, so uplifting ourselves, I believe, is a bit easier in this case, because when the other person, when we uplift ourselves first, we are already at this place. And that is a tricky thing. When you are a visionary, goal-focused leader, and then you meet your team members, and team could be your family, your circle, whoever, but they are still stuck, then you are at different energetic places. And that means the pacing is the challenge first. You need to meet people where they are. That doesn't mean when people are whining, you start whining too. Or when people are crying, you have to cry too. It just means that you approach them inside yourself with an attitude of non-judgment.
Is it just me or is she gone?
Hello, hello, can you still hear me?
Yeah, no, we lost you for a bit.
Must be for about 30 seconds.
Okay, what was the last thing you heard?
I don't know.
Okay, let me wind back my brain.
Oh, Linda was saying something.
You're muted.
You were saying that when you were up at the top of your vision and you were pointing to your board.
Okay, so when you as a leader already are uplifted, you have uplifted yourself, you already are connected with the vision and your goals, but your team members, your family is still stuck, there is a discrepancy, there's a disconnect. Then you are literally on two different places, metaphorically speaking. So the challenge as a leader who already is uplifted, who sees the opportunity and the vision, the challenge is now not to become a bulldozer and roll over your poor team or family with your big vision, but rather, yes, you are uplifted. You believe in the vision. You believe in the positivity of your goals. And yet you meet your team, your family, whoever it is, where they are. And that's a bit tricky. That is the challenge. But when you do that well, when you can sit down, okay, guys, people here, tell me, what are your concerns? If you give them space to voice, what are your concerns? What are your fears? What are your doubts? Without immediately, what is the English word for this thing which you can
We lost you
apply?
again, Sylvia.
Yeah.
Hello, hello?
Yeah, we lost you for about 30 seconds again.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. We had yesterday an email from our internet provider, Cox, that lots of excuses. It's outside, long story, it's outside my control. I have, I'm on a cable, I'm a super fast computer, but there's something here and they always blame now the pandemic and too much Zoom meetings happening. It's a nice excuse. So I apologize.
So you were saying that when you are uplifted as a leader and those you're leading, they are at a different place than where you are. So from there, the distortion started. And probably you were saying that you have to come down to their level and their place, probably, if I got you right.
Yes, and language now becomes a bit difficult because when we use the word coming down, I don't want you obviously to lose your positivity. Yet the key is when you meet the others that they don't feel judged by you. They don't want, you need to be, and this is a bit of a paradox. You hold the vision, you are on a high energy level, but you are not meeting the others like a bulldozer or rolling with your big vision over them. You meet them where they are. You give space. For example, and I mean it literally, you could even say, okay, we have here a timer. Let's put a timer, 5 minutes on the table, and you all will not leave the room. You can honestly say what sucks right now, what scares you, what is shitty. Let's for 5 minutes barf it all on the table, but let's limit it. That's the key. You have to limit that because the brain loves to go in spin-offs. Yeah, you don't want them suddenly to drill their misery even more firmly into their brain, right? So you need to limit that. But after they did it for 5 minutes and you hold the space without judgment, they feel that. This is a key skill which I hardly see in any books or schools, to just hold space so that people are feeling safe to be with whatever they bring to the table without being judged. People feel judged all the time by their leaders, that they are not smart enough, not fast enough, not loyal enough, not hardworking enough, not whatever enough. So
Not politically aligned.
yes, yes, exactly, yes. So when you pace well, when you give them that space to be where they are, then, only then, I hope you heard me, only then, after good pacing, then you can use again the magic 2 words, what if, and lead them out of there. And then you can do the same process you did with yourself, where you use the what if to drill first the old heavy rock into pieces and then make a turnaround. And you can invite them and can tell them, come on here, guys, let's play with what if. What ifs do you can think of? And you make it a group exercise of what if. You can even, you have my permission, draw this, explain it to them. This is not, for me, this is for the world. I want the world to change. So use this, explain it to them. But after you pace them well. Because if you go into the meeting completely positive, oh, I'm so excited, I've solved the problem, it will be awesome. And everyone is still like, it doesn't work. People will resist you. People will think, now he lost it or she lost it. I mean, Linda, how can you be so positive? Don't you see these problems? Steve, how naive are you? You are like kumbaya. What did your wife put into your drink, right? People will resist you. You need to pace them first. And then the leading becomes simple. And that's all going back now. We are at the end of the content training here. Change itself is not hard. Resistance makes it hard. And a lot of leaders sadly cause resistance in their teams because they are not pacing, they are not adjusting themselves, they are not leaning into and holding the space for their teams, because a lot of leaders are pressured to be fast, to be strong. Yeah, a lot of leaders are, by the system they are working in, pressured into being the old patriarchal bulldozers who have only the big flag with the goals at hand. And the internet seems to be unstable again. Can you still hear me? Awesome. So that's the official input from my side. We have a few moments here for questions. Any questions? Implementation questions, questions for the model, or do you have an own insight by listening? Did you have some kind of aha, putting together something in your own brain which fits? I would love to hear 1 or 2 voices. Yes, Wanda, my dear.
Yes.
Yes, Wanda?
One thing I'm writing in my book, all the challenges I've had through the years. And this one, where I was vice president of corporate reservations, a huge travel agency. And every time I came up with a solution, something, anything, an idea, not a solution, but an idea, so it was fresh. This is what the owner said. And this is talking about, there's 50 people there, right? 50, like that are working there. She said, Wanda, you have a lot of great ideas, but unfortunately, none of them work. and they shouldn't even try them. She didn't even try them. They were successful in my own business when they bought me out. I had those set down because I didn't want the employees to be always, judged, or like you say. So I said, hey, why don't you guys, you run the calendar. There's a big year calendar. You put your days off on there, but you're only going to have 2 people off the entire time at any one time. And they did it. One person even changed her wedding date. See, it's like if you give them I took it off my hands and said, you guys figure it out. It's so good. But she didn't know what, and it got me down worse and worse and worse and worse. Yep. Where I thought, well, what am I doing here? She loved that I did newsletters, for the employees. Every Wednesday I did a meeting agenda, but it's just interesting. But maybe what I'm listening to you, and I should have that I think I see now where not should have, but I could have said met them where they are first before I suggested. I think she was on overwhelm with all this stuff that I was trying to put out. I figured my agency was successful enough for them to buy it. Well, then in that case, why not bring that over here? But sometimes that doesn't work.
Beautiful. Thank you for that example. It's a classic example, and it fits what Yu Shuya said at the beginning with this whole mindset, or when I quoted in Germany with the reactions to merger initiatives. This is not how we do things here. And during one of these internet glimpses here, I had asked, what is the English word for this flappy thing where you kill a fly with? A fly
swatter.
Fly swatter. So the reaction wonder you just described, I call it's a classic fly swapper. So you bring ideas, and then the leader just say, great ideas, but none will work. Poof. It's a typical fly. In Germany, we use that metaphor, for a certain type of leader who just whatever you bring to the table, there's always like a corporate meme how they kill it. It's like, this will never work. This is not how we do it. Our CEO will never say yes to that. These are the memes who work like a fly swapper?
Swatter. SWAT.
They're resisting change.
SWAT.
Okay, swatter. Perfect. Great. Thank you for teaching me new words. I see it now. Yes. Flies, water. Double. Okay, got it. Fly, swatter. Okay. So this is a leadership style. And some people have that so internalized that they are not even aware that they are constantly doing that. And sadly, when it comes to parenting, as a side note, sadly, a lot of parents like fly swatters, whatever their children come with dreams for their future or ideas, say, This, I call that patrilialization. It's like, I can be anything. I can be free. I can change the world. Don't be naive. Grow up, and then you will know that will not work out. Yes, Linda, my dear.
I believe when people are resistant to change, they're resistant to losing control, actually.
Yes.
So what Wanda was saying was she gave them the control, and all of a sudden the changes happened. She didn't have to worry about how they would feel out of control if she was handling the calendar. She gave them the control, and everything turned out okay.
Again, I love to make life and the world simple, taking out complexity to make it more understandable and malleable. We, as leaders, we either come from fear or we come from love. And when we come from fear, then change triggers even more fears. I mean, right now, the pandemic is the fear-inducing situation. And then you add other things in your individual countries and where you live politically and finances. I mean, it's a classic storm we are experiencing right now, where different aspects of our life, our health, our life is threatened, finances are threatened, jobs are threatened, relationships are threatened. So it's a perfect fear-inducing storm right now. So, and that maybe that's training for one of the next weeks, fear management. How we deal with fear and reduce the fear, because fear is at the bottom of resistance to change is fear. And the need for control is one coping mechanism. There are tons, control, perfectionism, judgment. There are a lot of coping mechanisms we all develop depending on our early childhood upbringing. We all have our own strategies. How do we cope with fear? And how do we survive fear, or especially when you live throughout your childhood in an environment of anxiety? Maybe there's trauma, maybe there's war, maybe there is death. So it took me decades to unravel my coping mechanisms and to understand that the fear I was feeling underneath was not even my own. It was an epigenetically inherited. So ultimately, it's always that in leadership. Where do you come from? Fear or love? Ultimately, you can always go deeper, deeper, deeper in the emotions. It's fear or love. And what you see is the coping mechanism of people. How do they cope with the fear? And as a leader coming from love, you develop, depending how you train yourself and which school you go, with which coach you work, you develop techniques or ways how to share and spread the love, which you're experiencing here. One of my strategies, giving this Tuesday weekly calls. So we are here at the full hour. So the official part of the training is over. Those of you who would like to stay a few more minutes and are interested in the Juicy Life Leader Academy, I invite you to stay a few more minutes. I will record this too, because I'm opening it to the world. But if you only are here for the training, then please know you have obviously the permission always to leave. So today, I'm opening here with you witnessing, and I'm so grateful that a few of you stay here. I'm opening to the door to my Juicy Life Leader Academy, and I will give you the link, and I will do briefly a screen share here. And yet I want to use the opportunity to share my own learning in the process, because the Juicy Life Leader Academy is intended to be an offering in the online world for leaders. And there are a ton of leadership training schools all around the world. You know that. And so I did my research, to understand how is my leadership academy different from those on the market. And in that process, I realized, what is my commitment? And my commitment is that even the way I start this project, I'm deliberately avoiding the word launching, because launching nowadays in the online marketing world has such a connotation of old patriarchal tactics, of pressuring people, of setting limiters, of making a big momentous launch and giving deadlines. If you don't sign up by then and then, this happens, or you miss out. So the fear of missing out. So there's a whole patriarchal online marketing philosophy, how you are supposed to launch things into the online world. And I realized I can't do that without losing a sense of integrity. How can I stand, or taking a stand, for an alternative to the patriarchy and create an academy where leaders can learn to lead from love, where leaders can become Juicy Life leaders and open and launch and start that project in old, outdated patriarchal ways? That's just, it felt so wrong. So I'm doing it organically. I'm doing it gently. And the three things I had to shake off, or I had to work through, were three fears. The first fear was, I'm not ready, I'm not good enough. So there were fears of, who am I that I dare to do that? And no one will accept me as a mentor. So fears around, who am I? Am I good enough? Am I ready enough? Am I perfect enough? Then the second fear, obviously, then is about the product. Is my school ready and perfect enough, etc., etc.? And then the third one is the fears of the how. How do I open it? How do I roll out? And originally, I had conceptually created it last year summer, after the Juicy Life Leader online conference, where some of you were live with me, and had interviewed around 36 leaders from around the world, what they need and how they want to grow and how they want to evolve. And that was in September last year. And I was first still in this patriarchal pressure cooker of time and making it fast and launch in October. And I realized I was not ready. So I needed my time till I felt that, not that I'm now perfectly prepared, because I'm not. There are still things I'm developing on the platform. And yet for me, the key was that I felt I have worked through all the patriarchal layers of pressure, what society wants me to do. And it culminated last week in me firing one of my coaches, because even though I had already paid for a certain amount of coaching sessions. And so I'm consciously now let go of money, because by contract, I don't get the money back. But I realized she was advising me to start my academy in the old paradigm. And for me, it was not serving me, because I took a stand, I will do it differently. So without further ado, let me share my screen. And I want to acknowledge Susanne Kreitner being here. She was instrumental in recent weeks to help me, because she is an amazing English-speaking editor. She helped me. She went through all the pages and found a lot of typing and grammar mistakes, etc. So thank you, Susanne. That was such a gift. So ta-ta-ta-ta. Can you see my screen? Big blue and a little video screen. I'm deliberately wearing the same top so you can see. Awesome. So juicylifeleader.com is my new leader, and I don't say leadership, it's my leader academy, where you, the leader, are in the center. And I also want to honor Wanda being here, because Wanda is officially and forever will be. It's a bit like the man who landed on the moon the first. Everyone knows him, but no one knows the second person. Wanda is my first Juicy Life leader, because she signed up already. I'm so grateful, Wanda. So I invite you, because I don't want here to take too much more of your time, I invite you to write down juicylifeleader.com, and I will, if someone who knows it well can type it in the chat box, to surf this page, because it's quite extensive in content. I will send out through my email, a newsletter, probably for next week, a real party time where, independent from the community empowerment training, I will host a real party of opening it, where you can ask me any kind of questions. So I want you to literally study this page. So this is the home page. Then on the behind philosophy, the whole web page you see here is all about the Juicy Life Leader Academy. And the key page where I want you to check in with your body, if you are in resonance, is the philosophy page, because there is the vision, the mission, the core definitions, and a bit of teaching about things I'm teaching here every Tuesday at the community empowerment training. If you sense a resonance, and with resonance, I mean in your body, a yes, a positive longing, a positive feeling of, yes, I want that, I resonate with that, I want to be part of, it's a movement. My goal is here, this is not a short-term program or product. It's something I'm going to lead as long my health, my body, my age, my brain allows me. This is my thing till the end of my life. I want to change the world. I want to create a post-patriarchal society. So if you have a resonance with the philosophy page, and then I invite you to look into the curriculum. Look what I'm teaching here. And when we have the party, I will go into depth here. There's a beautiful curriculum tree. And those of you who have been last year at the Juicy Life Leader Conference, we talked about that, how to create results, how to have big impact on others while experiencing the joy of the freedom to be yourself. So these are the three big mastery tracks which I'm basing the whole curriculum on, because I believe that you, the Juicy Life Leader, these are the three things. When I analyzed my decades of academic study and research and certifications, what are the three things we need to master, which is how we shape our external world, the matter, material, how we create results, how we shape our relationships, how we shape the impact we have on others, and ultimately also ourselves, who we are in relationship to ourselves. So from these three circles, these three masteries, they have all three different tracks, and all the modules will be filling this out. And so this is a page of the curriculum. And when you like that and you want to understand how this practically looks like, so the Juicy Life Leader Academy will be a membership program. It's like a fitness studio for your leadership. And it has a monthly structure, and that is explained under the button, behind the button schedule. You sign up for monthly training. We start with the content in May. So this is right now the perfect time to join us. And then you see here again, these three circles. And then we move, and this is a big difference to other classic patriarchal leadership academies. My teaching, my didactical approach is non-linear. So we go, like we create here an upward spiral. We spiral from the teal results over the magenta joy, over the purple impact from month to month. So here, module 1, the neuroscience of success. We will learn from the sweating hustle to blissful flow. We go through a deep paradigm shift as leaders, from where you discover new heights of productivity which are healthy and sustainable without sacrificing anything, not your health, not your relationships, anything. And then we go into module 2, which is here in self-awareness. So I invite you over the next week to really study this. If you already are clear that you would like to become a member, then you find all the details, the costs. Right now, for the first 3 months, the membership fee is a launch special of $97 a month. It will go up in summer, in July, to $149. And here is another page of frequently asked questions. If there are questions, if you have questions which I don't ask there, please bring them to our party. And then we have also an about page for those of you who don't know me yet well and want to know who is she, who does she think she is. She can teach all that. You can find it here with all my credentials and some voices. I think here, Linda says something here as well, and Wanda. Thank you, you sweethearts, for giving me your testimonials, and you see a bit of my private background. That is the Juicy Life Leader Academy. It's open for enrollment. You can join Wanda. There is, and let me show you how the dashboard looks like when you go inside. So the dashboard, when you go get access, it's color-wise, it will be more simple, more white. So the web page is all my new art and lots of colors. So for the learning, here are the different programs you will have access to, including as a bonus, all the interviews from last year's conference. You get free access to all the Juicy Life Leader interviews, which are not online publicly available. And then when you go into the Juicy Life Leader Academy, it will look like this. And the very first start, I will upload this week a few content. One thing I need you to know, there is these golden arrows. Every month, the new content will be rolled out. So when you sign up, Start Here Orientation is a module where I teach you again, so to make sure that you understand what to expect, how the monthly structure will look like, and the curriculum rollout, the content to expect. There will be handouts where you can click on and to download them. And there will be very practical tips. Here, success tips, and I will teach you literally how to get ready. And then there is also a growing module, the library, lingo, and other resources, where I literally will have for you a library with books, aligned with every month's content if you want to go deeper. And also the lingo is a list of an ABC of terminology. What does patriarchy stand for? What does post-patriarchal mean? So certain terms I use a lot so that you find them explained. And the first content module starts in May. And so this is a great time to join. So you have literally 2-3 weeks to get ready for the Juicy Life Leader Academy. So I'm stopping now the screen share. Here you are, the 4 here. Thank you so much for giving me the attention. And yeah, I hope I will see some of you becoming Juicy Life Leaders and members in my academy. And you will hear more via email. Make sure if there are 2 lists in the moment, because I'm doing a bit of technical shifting, make sure you are on my newsletter email list. If not, send me a message or communicate with me and I make sure you get the right links that you're on. Any last questions, comments or feedback before we close here? Linda, my dear, I don't hear you.
Amazingly organized. It looks gorgeous.
Thank you.
It looked absolutely beautiful. I can't wait to read it.
Awesome. Thank you for spending time. Yeah, it's my body of work. It's my my soul's my external expression of my soul's mission. Any other last comments, Carol, my dear? What do you leave with today?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to looking it over myself, and I've enjoyed these parties. Is that what you call them? Yeah, they've been wonderful. I'm sure you're going to do well, and I'm excited to read it. Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
I'm still here, even though
Yes.
I'm not in video. I'm sorry, I had to take a call in the middle. So hopefully you're going to send out information about what you just presented, because I was on a call.
Yes, absolutely. You all get an email when the replay is up here from this one on YouTube. I also have another free training only twice a month on different time slots about my Juicy Life Leader Compass, which is a self-assessment in a book form. There is today the second training about drivers at 1 p.m. Pacific time. If you are not on that list, it's juicylifeleader.com/compass. And there you can download it. It has several pages at the start as a self-coaching process, going over your vision, and then it explains how to use assessment. And then it has 7 pages where you make a self-assessment as a leader in 22 categories of your life. And then you transfer the results here into this beautiful compass rose. And every other week, twice a month, I give a training to one of the categories. And we had just started. So the number 1 was goals, which is already on my YouTube channel. And today at 1 p.m. Pacific time, I will talk about what drives us. And so there will be a free track. I'm always providing to the community 6 times a month. And then there is the Academy paid for those who want to go deeper. And Cindy, if you like, I give you my email address right now so that you hear everyone. It's sylvia@Becker-Hill.com, because I want to make sure you know how to reach me. If you don't get my emails, my invitations, if there's something broken or you didn't sign up for something, please reach out to me. And the YouTube channel, also very simple. You go to youtube.com/ and then it's Sylvia Becker-Hill, but without the hyphen. And there you find all the replays. So Cindy, anything you missed today, you can find the replay in 48 hours there. And this was maybe the 10th or 12th training. So there's a whole channel. So my overall channel is the Juicy Life Leader TV. And the Tuesday Pacific morning times is a community empowerment training. And then we have twice a month, once on Friday, very early morning, so that people in Europe, Africa, and Asia can more easily join. And the Tuesday is here midday, because that is better for the Pacific time zones, because my community is global and I want to serve more people on different time zones. So anything else?
No, thank you. And I must say, I watched a lot of those interviews you had last year because they brought it forward. I think it was through the Xerox, I want to say
Yes.
Leadership Association. So I was able, that's how I found you, or you found me, I guess, or however that works. So yeah.
Then
great.
Cindy, when you are on my Juicy Life Leader conference list, then you should get also all invitations. So
Okay.
So
I'll look out for them. Today I purposely brought my own tablet because I can't have Zoom on my Xerox PC.
Got it. And so I have another 5 minutes, but let me stop here officially the recording. So thank you everyone for being here. Thank you, beloved viewer here on the replay on YouTube. I'm so excited that you invest time and attention to learn and grow and evolve yourself. Please remember our meme. Your happiness is your biggest contribution for the world, because happy leaders are better leaders. I'm honored and delighted to serve you, and I hope to see you next week here live or on the YouTube replay channel. Thank you.